Hi, I'm Sherry and welcome back to my channel, Sherry Jones Designs. In today's video, we're going to be taking this fun t-shirt and I'm going to be turning it into something just fun and comfortable to wear. It's going to be kind of like this one, but a little bit different with some twists. And I'm going to be adding it to my wardrobe. So I thought you guys might enjoy going on the little journey with me as I make it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want is a t-shirt that's just a little big and baggy on you. You know, if you want the same kind of look that I'm getting. And this one is really cute, but the thing is it's not too cottony, it's kind of poly, so it doesn't breathe very well. So what I'm going to do is open my sleeves up a little bit and change it so I can wear it this year. I think it's really cute. I love gnomes, and I just think it is absolutely adorable. And I love gardening, and it just kind of everything all together. And then honey on top of that. Who doesn't love honey, right? So what I'm going to be looking at doing is I want the neckline to be lower, not up next to my neck. And I don't want these sleeves on my arm. Now, I got two different ways I can do this. I was thinking about this. So I can just go ahead and go tank top, or I could go up like I have done before, just add some ruffle to it. So these are some things to think about if you're trying to alter a t-shirt. Is what kind of neckline. You can, if you like V-necks, you'll just cut the shape and then do what I'm going to be doing when I cut this one off. So that's something to think about. But I'm going to change the neckline, I'm going to change the armholes, and then I'm going to change the length. I don't necessarily want to cut his little shoes off, but I'm going to be cutting it here somewhere about this height. Basically, wherever, then I'm going to be adding a ruffle around it. So wherever you'd want that ruffle to start, that's how high you would cut your shirt off. And let's go ahead and start with the collar. Now with knit, it's easy to get your collar too big. And then because when you go to, if you don't know how to deal with knit, it can stretch out of shape quickly, especially a spandex, heavy spandex mix, which this one is. It is got a nice weight to it though. Like, it's not too stretchy. I think I'll be all right. So I could just choose, like I'll show you here, I could choose to just cut this and follow the line. Like I could choose and say that is enough, because it's not going to ravel. Knit doesn't ravel. So that's one option. You could just take and cut next to where the collar was installed if it's like mine. If it's installed like mine is. We'll see what that would look like. But if you do it this way, you are going to have this is thicker here. So you need to keep that in mind. Like, is that going to bother you? Would you prefer to have it just fabric? You know, there's a lot of t-shirt artists out there. Because knit is like this. You can cut it in any kind of shapes or whatever. It doesn't fray. So there's a lot of people that will just cut the collar out and that's it. They don't even finish it. But even that is much better. Like, I like that much better than like, I've got a lot more room here. But this is quite thick, and I'm not sure I'm going to like that. So I actually think I may take this whole thing out, because see, I've got the layers of this plus this. So I'm actually going to cut the whole thing out and be putting my own finish on it. And it's easy to get it too wide, so just be careful and take a little bit at a time. Take your time doing the collar. The collar can mess everything up. But you know, if you do mess it up, what you can do is use the rest of the shirt in something else. You know, that's the thing about upcycling. If you ruin it, you know, it's never completely gone. You can always bring it back in another garment in pieces. You know, it's thankfully, it can always be reused. I'm a comfort queen, okay? I want all, especially for my everyday clothes, I want them all to be comfortable. But okay, so now I've got, and I like how, see how that's going to lay so nice on my skin. Now, Am I going to leave it raw like that? No, I'll probably turn it once here and stitch it. And that'll give me a nice collar. So now I've got that cut out and figured out. The next thing I want to do is figure out my sleeves. If I was going tank top, this is going to cover, it's kind of like a muscle tee. If I would just take this out here, I'm going to have a muscle tee. It's going to cover my shoulder. I can do several things about that. That's kind of cute. You can cut it off and then use a tie to scrunch that up. And that's kind of cute. And that was kind of cute with this. Like we could use a pink, something pink and dangly. You know, I'm trying to make this fun because it's such a fun shirt. The other thing I could do, like I said, is I can cut this straight up, kind of like the sleeve I'm wearing here. You just cut them straight up. I know I'm going to do something, so let's do that. I'll show you what that would look like. You would just cut straight up like this. Start down here at the bottom and just go straight up like that. And then you sew a little ruffle around it. And that's really cute. I'm going to cut them that way for now and see if, is that what I want to do? Probably. And you're just going to go straight up. Like that. Okay, looking good so far. I'm making this up as I go because I want it to be fun. That's how the best creations are. I notice here, have you noticed this? Right here, they did not sew this correctly. It's not laying in correctly. It's got a bobble there when you try to lay it flat. See how that sleeve kind of wants to do that? Maybe for that reason, I'll just make this a tank because I don't really like how that's laying. Okay, so I've changed my mind. If I had wanted to make a ruffle one like this one that I'm wearing, that's how you would do it. You cut it straight up, and then you take however wide you want your ruffle, and you just gather it and sew it on top all the way around. But because of that bobble, and I don't like that, I'm taking the whole sleeve out. I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to remove the sleeve so that it lays flat. Because I don't like how that, I know that's not going to be comfortable to wear. I'm being real careful not to go too deep because you can't with knits, it's hard to put it back. Okay, and I'm going to do them both that way. All right, and it's going to lay like that. Now I know that's going to make that too deep for a tank for me. You know, I'll probably adjust my arm up there, especially if I fold this. If I fold this in like this and stitch it, that's going to make the armhole a little deep for me. So let me go ahead and do this one now. All right, so we've cut our collar off. I've cut my sleeves off. And now I want to change the shape of the bottom of this. And I want it to angle up like this and down on the front. But on the back, I want it to kind of stay the same. So what I'm going to do is take some chalk and kind of mark where the height I want it to go. And then I'm going to fold it so I cut both at the same time, like this. And I can just give myself a line if I want. I want it to kind of go like something like that. And I'm just going to cut an arch in the front, like that. And then when I look at the back, I want it to continue. I don't want this hem, so I'm just going to take the hem off. and come across the bottom like this. All right, now to see how my side's going to look, I'm going to kind of just slope this in to here. Kind of like that, kind of round it on each side. Just kind of make a gentle kind of arch and round that into each side. Now I've got to make a choice here on this. If I would prefer a narrower tank, this is a time I would cut it in. And when cutting in, remember on most shirts, like this, when you lay them out, your back of the sleeve is always a little wider than the front. So if I would just go together like this, it will come in, which is fine. You might get sunburnt from a regular tank top there is kind of what I'm thinking. But you might not like that. Okay, so I've decided just to hem it by turning it under 1/4 inches twice. So I'm going to quarter, and I'm going to quarter more. And then I'm just being careful not to stretch it. I think that's okay. It wouldn't hurt to come around and give it another stitching on that, but... So here I'm getting ready to, I've got my collar done, and I'm getting ready to make this ruffle, and I wanted to see about doing something different with the sleeves, but we're going to put the ruffle on next. And I want about, a nice good amount of fluff on this. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go about 8 inches. And how I'm going to do this with a sheet is I'm going to clip it and rip it. It'll rip straight. I want something lightweight. I want it to be lightweight, and I want it to just kind of fluff and flow and stuff. So I'm going to rip a couple of those, make sure I have plenty. Now, with being as it's a sheet, it has a finished end here. So what I'll do is I will take that one, and I'll stick the unfinished one under it and sew it down. So I'm going to put some white thread in here, and I'll sew that down. And then I'm going to serge the bottom of mine. But like I said, if you can just do the 1/4 inch and then again for a finished edge. Leave it raw edge, which is really cute. Or you can zigzag it, but you're still going to see that raw kind of edge if you do that. So now we're just going to, I don't like these tags on there. See, this was a just a 2X. I got it from Temu a long time ago. I just haven't done anything with it. I haven't bought from them in a while, but I had this sitting there and I thought I need to do something with it. Now this will not fray, so I can use this as my finished edge. If that bothered you, you could turn it under like this or something and then add your ruffle if that was something that bothered you. You could serge it as well if you have a serger. So I'm just going to start with my piece here. And by the way, if you guys have trouble, you have a serger and you have trouble with these raveling, I'll show you a trick. Children, do not try this at home, okay? But you take a lighter and you just get it hot. You can get it hot, you can catch it even on fire and blow it out, and your threads will not ravel. It's super fast, really handy, especially if you're doing production stuff. Just use it with caution, okay? So I'm going to start somewhere. It can be anywhere. I could start here. If you don't know how to finger gather, you just take your fingers, spread them out, and then bring them back together. However far you spread them out will make the ruffles. So my mom taught me this, finger gathering. And it's so handy. Sometimes I'll just do like this and just scoot up a little bit under here. Now I don't want to stretch this. I just want to get this under here. And for me, I don't want a heavy ruffle. So I'm just going to do a light gathering and sew it on if my machine will behave. And I'm going to use a zigzag because a zigzag will stretch. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a tug so it doesn't eat it. And I'm just going to gather a little, stitch a little, like that, and gather that all the way around. For my sleeves, it's turning out really nice. Look how nice this looks. Just to zigzag it by just turning it over once. That's turning out really, really nice. I think I will zigzag my collar so it'll lay down. I want to make sure I don't stretch it as I stitch it in place. And remember, my knit, this knit is not super stretchy that I'm working with either, so the next fun thing I've decided to do with it is I'm going to sew on just random buttons. And I think the 3D, because it's sort of a 3D print, this is really going to make the 3D pop by actually adding some 3D elements to it. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to sew this on, and then I'll try it on myself and see what all I need to adjust, and we'll continue. All right, so I tried it on. This is what it's looking like, and I absolutely love it. And the sleeves are a little bit gappy, which is kind of, you know, it's a 2X, so it's going to be for me. So what I'm going to do, I've pinned it and tried it on, and this is more the sleeve hole that I want. And so how I'm going to change that is I'm going to turn it inside out. This is how you can do it too. And this is how much I want out of it. So what I'll do, right there. So what I'll do is I'll just sew, let me lay it out here so you can see. It has an angle. You can see it's already got an angle to it. So I'll just come back here, take an inch or so out of it, and come right down into that angle. And I'll do that probably on my serger, and I'll do it on both sides, and I should be done. And I'm going to show you what it looks like because I think it's so fun. Okay, you ready? Here it goes. I'm going to show you. That turned out fine once I zigzagged it. I actually like the little buttons. They don't really feel like they're in the way. And I shortened on the side enough, so I like that. And it turned out so cute. I like how long with my baggy pants. I've got into these baggy pants, linen pants, and wearing baggy bloomer type pants. And so it's just a lot of fun. It feels so summery, and I love it. I love it. Now you could make it any length, and if you want to on the sleeves, you could leave the sleeves if you have to have sleeves, and you could add this ruffle to the end of your t-shirt sleeve and just change your neckline out. And I think that would also make it really summery and fun. And if you needed more room in your t-shirt, just slit it up the side and add a triangle in there before you go on with your ruffle. And that'll give you more room in this section of it if you need more. Because a lot of us, you know, we all gain weight in different places. So if you need more of the room here, then add your triangles in before you get to the ruffle. So I hope you make some cool summer t-shirts like this for yourself. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I have a Discord if you want to share photos of anything that you've made, or you want to come over there and chat. It's not super busy, but we do have a few people over there. And I do post random stuff over there and different things. But anyways, feel free to go over there. The link to that will be in the description below. It is free. Doesn't cost you anything to go over there. So thanks for watching my videos, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy sewing.